Hello friends, welcome back. In this video I'm gonna walk you through the next part of purchasing system. So in the previous part of this particular video lecture we have seen what is purchasing and what are the functions of purchasing system, what are the responsibility of the purchasing department, and also we have seen that there are basically two ways in which purchasing department works. One is the centralized purchasing system, another one is decentralized purchasing system. Now already we have seen the definitions also that or you can say statements which will convey us the meaning of what is centralized purchasing and what is decentralized purchasing and where they are actually suitable. So now let us concentrate more on what are the different merits of each of these two departments. So in that, let us first just go through some of the merits of centralized purchasing system. So the very first merit of the centralized purchasing here is purchasing in bulk quantities reduces cost to the organization. So as centralized purchasing system is going to purchase equipment for all other departments, all other subdivisions, so it is going to purchase in bulk quantities. So once we purchase anything in bulk quantities, we are sure to get it as a wholesale rate. So therefore the cost of bulk purchase will be always less in case of centralized purchasing department. Then second one is good relations developed with the supplier can lead to better discounts and bargain in the future. As continuously the centralized purchasing will be purchasing various types of equipments, components from various suppliers. So over a period of time the purchase department is going to build relations with the various suppliers, which will lead to, you can say, additional bargains, additional discounts in the future purchases from those suppliers. That is an added advantage in case of centralized purchasing, which in decentralized purchasing we do not usually find it. Then third one is, since shipments are consolidated, the transport cost is also reduced. So here when we purchase a lot of equipment, lot of components, then the next question is for the transportation of those all. So now since all the equipments are purchased, so there will be consolidated shipment of all the equipment, so that will go in a particular place. So if it is not in the centralized purchasing, then what will happen? So various department will purchase various equipment, so various transportation arrangements needs to be made in case of decentralized system, whereas in case of the centralized, so only single transportation will be sufficient to carry out the task of that transportation of all the shipment. Then the next is inventory investment can be minimized through centralization of purchasing. Inventory is nothing but, you can say, a particular storage area, maintenance area, and whatever things will be coming in, going out, so counter will be there. So it is all together called as inventory of the purchase department. So that will be maintained properly, and even the cost will be or investment will be very minimum if it is a centralized purchasing system. Otherwise what will happen in decentralized purchasing system, so at different location different inventories will be there. For that different investments are to be made, different personnel are to be employed to take care of different tasks and various works of that particular division there. Okay, so that will be here, therefore the investment is minimized for inventories in case of centralized purchasing. Then another merit is inventory management gets drastically reduced. As I explained in the last point that various divisions require a lot of people, so management becomes little bit complex and also tedious task. But if it is a centralized one, so few people will be managing all the things, hence the management gets drastically reduced. People, manpower, and also resources will get reduced in case of centralized purchasing system. The next one is duplication of work can be avoided. So what will happen sometimes because of the miscommunication, so it may happen that different divisions of the organization will purchase on their own different equipments which are common. So there will be possibility of duplication of the purchasing. So same equipment will be purchased from two different places by two different divisions. So that can be completely avoided in case of centralized purchasing, because only one point purchasing will be there. So all the orders will go through the people of that purchasing system. Hence they will make sure that only once the particular equipment is purchased, it is not being purchased twice for the same purpose. The next is policies formulated for purchasing can be maintained uniformly through centralized purchasing. So whatever policies will be formulated in for that particular organization, so they will be implemented uniformly in the purchase department, and they will be followed properly, so without any problem. But in case of decentralized purchasing system, depending upon the various geographic locations, various transportations availability for them, so the policies may change. So therefore that will be a different kind of a very difficult process in order to achieve the requirement through the decentralized purchasing departments. And then finally centralized records can be maintained very easily at one place in case of a centralized purchasing system. So here everything will be going through one particular, we can say, desk. So the people working on that desk will be taking care of all the records. So hence all the records will be maintained at one point, one place in the centralized purchasing department. Then since a single department is involved, the quality of material can also be maintained. Okay, so only one department is doing all the purchasing things, so they are well aware of the different manufacturers and quality of the different equipment and components. Therefore they will make sure that whatever being procured from suppliers, it is of very good quality, so that quality can be ensured in case of a single department, which is a centralized purchasing department. Now finally centralized store can be maintained under centralized purchasing. So only one store or central store can be maintained in case of a centralized purchasing. So maybe number of divisions will be there, but only one store will store all the materials, raw materials, various equipments, various other components, everything at one place, at one location, under one surveillance of a team. So therefore different stores are not required in case of centralized purchasing system here. Okay, so apart from this even the centralized purchasing system will be having some of the demerits. Okay, so therefore let us now go through some of the demerits here. The very first demerit is high initial cost can be deterrent. Okay, so as the you can say purchasing will be bulk, therefore here very high cost can be, initial cost will be required to set up the entire purchase department, to you can say hire number of people to maintain that, and transportation facilities are to be provided at one particular place. They have to go to different locations to deliver the centrally purchased equipment. So therefore initially it is going to be high, but over a period of time the overall cost will be lower, but initially it will become a kind of a deterrent. The starting whoever is starting a company, startups, they will think twice before investing a lot of money at one particular you can say establishment of the system or this purchasing department. Okay, so they will think that at different places let it be for time being. Then second one is people in charge of purchasing may not be efficient, and this can lead to poor quality of materials purchased and even incorrect quantity being purchased. This is you can say apprehension. This is not actually will happen every time, but suppose if the people they in the centralized purchasing system are not efficient, okay, so they may cause to purchase poor quality of materials. Okay, and also there may be incorrect quantity, obtained quantity will be different than the expected quantity. So that may happen only if the team centralized purchase department team is inefficient, but that is most unlikely thing to happen. Okay, then third is if branches are spread out geographically, then centralized purchasing may not be suitable. Obviously if a number of divisions are there at different locations, say hundreds of kilometers away from the headquarters, in that case the transportation and you can say having monitoring all the equipment, you can say whether they are sufficient, whether they are running out of the stock, everything will become a little bit hectic in case of a centralized purchasing system if they are having multiple branches. If they are having limited branches, in that case it will be the most suitable. If they are having multiple branches, then no, it is not suitable. In case of an emergency, work can be delayed drastically since materials cannot be purchased locally. See, if a particular division requires urgently some equipment, some components to fulfill a particular project work, in that case it is very difficult if centralized purchasing system is existing, because the centralized purchasing system will take its own due course in order to procure the required material which is demanded by a particular division. So in that case there will be halting of the project work. If there is any emergency, work can be delayed. So it will not happen as per the expectation, but it will get automatically delayed. The projects can get delayed from their expected time of completion. So this will happen. This is you can say one of the expected demerits which will usually occur in case of centralized purchasing system. So they cannot purchase locally, so that is a very big drawback. Then delay in replacement of defective material. Again, once the material is procured and it is being given to a particular division for their application usage, they may find that the procured material is having some defects. Now they need to get it replaced. So as it is being purchased centrally, now the different divisions at their own cannot do anything about it. Hence they need to send it back to the centralized system, and it will take its own process to get the replacement of the defective pieces. Therefore there will be a very prolonged delay in defective pieces replacement. Then if the wrong amount of material is purchased, it will be loss to the organization. If suppose the required quantity is very less, and in bulk they are going to purchase expecting that in future it might be used, but if it does not happen, in that case the overall organization is going to incur very huge loss because of the lot of material being purchased in the beginning itself. So that may happen in case of centralized purchasing. Okay, so those are the demerits. Now let us go through some of the merits of decentralized purchase. So decentralized purchase is not a very popular in all the organizations, but it is also having its own merits. Depending upon its suitability, it will also be used in more number of, you can say, organizations, departments. First one is less cost of internal transport, as it will be localized. So local purchasing can be done by the decentralized purchasing departments. So they will be contacting the suppliers nearby on their own, and they will be getting delivered by the suppliers itself. So the transportation cost will be very minimum in this case. Then very big merit is the timely availability of the material. Like in case of centralized purchase department, where it will take a lot of time to follow the due process. Here it does not require to follow all the steps required in case of centralized purchasing system. Here it is at their own level, so they will be able to get it done quickly, and they will be able to get the material timely at their own project place without any delay in the transportation or any other for that matter. Then lower chance of obsolescence. So here obsolescence is nothing but it is whatever being purchased may become obsolete. Like in the earlier case, if the bulk purchase has been done and over a period of time, if that kind of equipment is not more suitable in future, then it will become useless, obsolete. So that obsolescence in case of centralized purchasing is higher, but here in case of decentralized purchasing system it is lower. Now it is very big advantage of decentralized purchasing system. Okay, but it is having a lot of demerits. Centralized purchasing system has got a lot of demerits. Now these are the demerits of centralized purchasing system. First of all, poor layout of space. So it will not be planned as it is planned in case of you can say centralized purchasing system. So it will be poorly layout of space. Then more finance is required, because they will have to purchase at a very low quantity, so they need to pay more. They will not get the bargains and discounts that will be enjoyed by the centralized purchasing department. Less technical skills is obtained, as the people required here are not well qualified or well skilled. So with the less skilled people is also this department is run. So here this is going to hamper the overall efficiency of the you can say working of that department. Then more clerical work. Okay, so as here not much this system does not follow much of the standardized process, so they will have to do a lot of clerical work on their own. Then duplicate purchase of material will also happen, because here suppose in more clerical work means here if suppose one organization is having 10 divisions, then 10 different divisions have to do their own purchasing thing, and they will have to give the report to the headquarters. So there the clerical work will rise here. And also duplicate purchase of material may happen in case of decentralized purchasing system, because the different divisions, different departments, sub departments will not be in contact with each other while doing the purchases, so they will do it on their own. So it may happen that they will do the duplicate purchasing, so two different departments will purchase the same material. Okay, so one of which will be loss. Then slow in stock taking process. So here stocking will become very slow process. They cannot anticipate the requirement and do the stocking as it can be done in case of a centralized purchasing system, as the procured material will be consumed by one or the other department. Here it does not happen, so they do not do the stocking. So here the stock is very low. Then high cost of insurance. So as the we can say this is a small unit of that particular organization, so they have to do the insurance also on their own. So the cost of that insurance will be high as compared to that in case of a centralized purchasing system. Okay, so these are the various disadvantages of or demerits of the decentralized purchase department. Now here let us do the comparison of both centralized and decentralized purchasing system. So here a number of points are taken, so around about 17 points have been listed in this table. Okay, so but you can prepare on your own around about 10 to 12 different points, important points as main differences, to mark the differences between centralized and decentralized purchasing system. And it is going to be one of very important question from point of view of your examination, so you need to prepare it properly and do the practicing of this. So the very first difference is control on buying is exercised effectively. So here effective control is not possible. Centralized will have more control, here it does not have more control. Economy in large scale purchase is possible because they get bargains, so here it is not possible. So better terms on purchase are possible here. Okay, so in this case bargains power is very low because they are not purchasing in bulk. Skills of the purchasing officer are very high, so here the purchasing skills are meager, they are not very high. Then purchasing specialization is obtained here, as they are doing continuous purchasing, so they get specialization, but here they do not get the specialization. Then uniformity in purchase is followed, here there is no uniformity, so different divisions will do their purchasing on their own terms, so uniformity is not maintained in case here. Okay, so next point, seventh point is standard materials are purchased here. Good quality standard materials are purchased here. Quality of material is questionable, it cannot be ensured. Less finance is enough. Okay, here high finance is required. Need of less storage space, need of more storage space here, because at different locations different storage places are to be built, hence the overall storage space increases here, but it is at one particular location, so it requires less storage place. Then it is easy to regulate purchase policy. Regulation policy is very difficult. Establishment cost is high, here the establishment cost is low. Okay, so next is delay in purchase is possible. Purchase material is very quick here, so this is the main highlight point once again. So here it is quick, here it is okay. So establishment cost is also very high, it is low, that is also very important point, you can remember. Advantage of local market cannot be obtained, here it is obtained. Then there is a misunderstanding between production center and purchase department. There is no misunderstanding, since the concerned department purchases the material. So it may happen that the purchase department, whatever division requires the material, they may feel like whatever they had required, it is not up to their required parameter specification. So there may be always conflict of interest or misunderstanding between the purchasing department and the producing center. So it may happen. So there is a chance of favoritism in purchase. Okay, so here there is no chance of favoritism. There is a blocking of working capital, and here there is no blocking of the working capital. Working capital means huge investment needs to be done in case of centralized purchasing. Here it does not require. So these are some important points you need to remember as differences between the two purchase departments. With this particular content, so the third unit is completed. So only thing remaining is the sample of a purchase order, which might be asked in your examination also. That, as I have told earlier, that I will provide it in your Google Classroom, so that you shall expect later sometime in the same section of the this particular content where I am going to post it. So in that post it will be available, so you can refer it later. Okay, so I hope you have understood all the aspects of purchasing system, and you are able to distinguish between the centralized and decentralized purchasing system and write their own advantages, disadvantages on your own. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video lecture. Till the next time, happy learning.